This is 5 on your side at 6. Focused on you.
The Missouri Department of Revenue and St. Louis County are the targets of a recent lawsuit that alleges tax levies on marijuana are violating the state constitution. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. The lawsuit alleges municipalities are double taxing the consumers, raising the cost of cannabis across the state. 5 on your side's Holden Kurwicki spoke with the dispensary owner who filed that lawsuit earlier today, and he joins us live downtown.
Well, and Mike, those taxes just took effect on October 1st. And while many cities and counties were planning on recreational sales revenues to balance their budget, it could be up to a St. Louis County judge to send that plan up in smoke or cut costs for consumers.
At Field State Dispensary in Florissant, sales have been sky high since the Show Me State legalized recreational sales.
The business has been amazing. Obviously, seeing the widespread and the customer, accumulation from all the region, really.
However, the most common question they're getting isn't about the cannabis, but a recent cost increase.
In Florissant, there was a 3% tax that was voted upon from all the local citizens. But then on top of that, St. Louis County came in and they're attempting to add an additional 3% unlawfully on top of that.
That's why Robust Cannabis owner Tyler Hannigan recently filed suit against the Missouri Department of Revenue and St. Louis County to try and stop tax stacking.
It's very, very much so encroaching on the actual constitutional amendment and not really living up to the standards that have been set forth that were voted upon from all, the residents of Missouri.
Hannigan says the law could cost the cannabis industry as much as $36 million in sales, but it's the consumers who will feel the squeeze.
You're going to see somewhere around in the ballpark of $400,000 to an additional $1 million that's going to cost the customers per store.
Both St. Louis County and the Missouri Department of Revenue declined comment on this story due to pending litigation, which Hannigan hopes will be quickly clarified by a judge.
I just think that it's a little bit of an oversight, and it's a little bit more of, let's shoot first and we'll ask questions later. I don't think that it was brought into very fairly for us to have that imposed, and now we have to go this route of trying to defend our customers on our behalf.
It's worth noting that even if a judge upholds those tax levies, Missouri marijuana users are paying less than half the taxes that their counterparts over in Illinois currently pay. Reporting live downtown, Holden Kurwicki, 5 on your side.
More than 24 people face charges today in connection with a series of fights at Alton High School. This is video taken by a student of a fight that happened on campus last month. The Madison County State's Attorney says 15 females and 11 males are charged with counts ranging from disorderly conduct to mob action. The Alton School District says no students were injured and no weapons were involved. Well, new tonight, the Missouri State Auditor has launched an investigation into the St. Louis City Justice Center. The news comes on the same day Mayor Tashara Jones announced she's hired a permanent public safety director to oversee the jail and all of the city's other emergency services. Our Christine Byers is live outside City Hall, where the new hire was announced just a few hours ago. Christine.
Mike, that's right. For the first time in Mayor Jones's 2.5 years in office, she now has a public safety director who is permanent. She made the announcement today, and this is a very important position for the city. All of the emergency divisions, public safety divisions report to him, including the jail, which is now under investigation by the Missouri State Auditor. Former Fire Department Commander Charles Coyle stepped up as interim public safety director in January when Dan Isom stepped down.
I know he will offer steady leadership as the city undergoes the search for our next permanent department head.
Jones said she'd hire a permanent replacement within 3 to 6 months. It took 10 months.
In January, we launched a nationwide search for a new public safety director, but my ultimate choice was far closer to home.
Coyle says he's hired 26 dispatchers since pay raises took effect in August.
We're in a full court press when it comes to 911.
The city's jail also now permanently falls under Coyle's watch. Missouri Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick launched an investigation into allegations that the jail's civilian oversight board members are being stonewalled and food vendors aren't being paid. 10 inmates have died in the past 2 years.
I would be hopeful that the mayor's office and the Department of Public Safety over there will just open up the facility to the members of the board, let them do their job, so that, we can just kind of all move on. But it is concerning that there have been that many deaths.
Coyle says.
So no, they have not been stonewalled.
He says the board members haven't done the training the law requires to conduct investigations or take tours.
I support oversight, but oversight's fragile. And if we're painting outside the lines, if we're not following the law, we could lose oversight. I definitely don't want that to happen on my watch.
Now, Auditor Fitzpatrick says that the city has about 30 days to respond to his request for information and documents. And he says once he gets all of that together, he'll make a determination on whether a full audit is necessary. Live outside City Hall, Christine Byers, 5 on your side.
Well, the Israel military is continuing to pulverize the Hamas-ruled Gaza Strip with airstrikes.
Now it is preparing for a ground invasion. Military officials say the siege on the territory will remain until Hamas militants freed the 150 hostages taken during a terror attack over the weekend. Israel has halted deliveries of food, fuel, medicine, and electricity to Gaza and prevented entry of supplies from Egypt. Several St. Louis families have soldiers in the Israel Defense Forces. They've been called to serve since the attack. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski spoke with 2 of those families about what it's been like for them. Laura.
And every day has been harder than the last for these families, and they continue to learn about more family members and friends who've been killed or taken hostage, all while they pray their soldiers make it back home.
Galit Lev Harir and her husband flew from St. Louis to Israel to visit their son in college and the rest of their family for the holiday weekend, only to have their trip take a shocking turn for their nephew Ron.
The Army contacted him and asked him to go down, and because they were, calling back all of the soldiers who were on leave. And he went down to the area, to the border communities that had been attacked by the terrorists.
While treating the wounded, Ron volunteered to help evacuate more injured people when suddenly his Jeep was hit by an anti-tank missile, tearing off his arm and killing the driver.
And a special unit was sent in with night vision goggles, and they were able to evacuate him.
As Galit shared this story with me from outside the hospital, she stopped suddenly as an alert went off in the background.
That's a missile. I have to run inside right now. I'm now inside.
This happened one more time during our conversation, and she says despite the horror of it all, there is some good.
Everyone is all together, and it's just really incredible to feel everyone so united.
In a town roughly 75 miles away, former St. Louis resident Michael Oberlander says 4 of his children were all called up to serve in various roles for the Israel Defense Forces.
It's very hard. We worry about them, obviously, but we're also very proud of them, because they're doing their duty.
And even miles away, he feels the same way Galit does.
The Israeli people are very strong. We've been punched and we've been staggered, but we have not fallen down, and we are going to win this.
The good news is Ron came out of his coma just 4 hours ago and is expected to make a full recovery. Both families say the best way you can help from here in St. Louis is to donate to any of the organizations providing aid. We have a link to the Jewish Federation of St. Louis on our website, ksdk.com.
Right now, loved ones are honoring an Illinois camp counselor who died in Israel. Gili Adar died at a music festival during that attack by Hamas. Adar was a representative of the Israeli Scouts program and a counselor at Camp Ben Frankel in southern Illinois. The camp's director says she was a ray of light, spreading joy and happiness to everyone she touched.
She was a source of joy and humor, and she was really clever, and she cared. She was someone who wanted to make the world a better place by volunteering and working with kids, and that's about as noble as it comes in my book.
Camp's director says they've been overwhelmed with a tremendous outpouring of support.
The fear of violence against a beloved pet can make domestic abuse survivors feel trapped. Now there's a place to start over and take the pets along.
And details about a beautification effort happening this weekend, why organizers say keeping neighborhoods clean keeps them safe as well.
And if you're out this weekend doing a bit of cleaning up in the neighborhood or maybe your backyard, look for breezy conditions, and it's not going to be nearly as bright as it was today.